Good morning, everybody. Peter Ciccone, Entrepreneurs Across America. We are here today with a very special guest, Reverend Mark Bigelow, a friend of mine for over 20 years. We often talk about the changing dynamics of the business world and how it affects us as entrepreneurs, as business people, as whatever positions we hold within companies. But one of the businesses that have changed as much as any, and if not more than most, has been that of churches, temples, mosques. And in a conversation with Mark the other day, it dawned on me, you've dealt with more change in the last 20 years as any business person I've dealt with, that I know, and you've dealt with more change over the last 2 or 3 years, with the pandemic, as any business or anybody, else that any of us know. And would you come on the program and discuss how you've dealt with that and some of the changes you've had to encounter? And I think we could all learn something from it. So without any further ado, Reverend Mark Bigelow of the Congregational Church of Huntington, welcome to Entrepreneurs Across America, and thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So how have you dealt with the changes in the last 20 years? What are the changes you've seen since you've been a minister and running a church? And how do you plan for the future?
Well, I've been in my church 30-some years, and most of the changes are external. And that's what makes it difficult, with any organization. If you change within, but if people are forcing things on you, like church affiliation. In the last 10 years, there's been a 10% decline in the number of people that are affiliated with the church. It's almost 30% of Americans have no affiliation.
30%, 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3. I mean, it's been huge, and that's only happened in the last 10, 20 years.
Okay.
It's been a fast shift in society. And also just our lives are so full. When people are working full time, 2 career couples, kids running around all over the place, they don't have time.
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge for us to figure out how may we best serve. And the part that's really, I think, is the key difference is that we continue to stay focused on mission. We are here to share God's love and make an impact in our society. And it's not about how many people are in the building.
Okay.
It's about what is our impact.
What is your impact, and what are we doing to make that happen?
To make that happen. And that's what people appreciate. That then brings more people, actually, even though that's not, the goal isn't just numbers. The goal is impact. People like that. They get excited. There's a passion there, and that gets people involved.
In business, we would say quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And when you're looking for customers, the adage is it's the 80-20 rule, and it works. 80% of your business will come from 20% of your customers. 80% of your productivity will come from 20% of your producers.
Yeah.
And that's so it's and what you try to do. The magic goal is to how do I get more people? What's the model of that 20%? How do I get more people who fit that 20% to be more, can I make it 75-25? And if you can get it to 70-30, that's where you start to see great dividends being paid.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you're saying the same thing,
Yeah.
but with the function of a church, you need to focus on the impact. You want to be, you want quality output, even though the world's changed around you. And it's the world around you changing, not so much you changing.
That's right. A great example is a program we do for preparing food for homeless people in the town of Huntington. We run it, we get the food, we are the building, but then we advertise it to anybody to come and do it. And so 80% of kids that are helping in the program aren't members of our church.
80%.
But they want to come and be a part of it, and now their parents know about us, the kids know about us, we've impacted them, and also we prepared this food that's impacting these people that need food in Huntington. That's the kind of thing that's going to make a difference for us.
And that's the kind of thing that that keeps you on mission, keeps you on point, and keeps you doing what you were, what you've been made to do. What you,
That's right.
And with the church.
Well, even our mission, our building's even an example. A building of a church, usually, you can worship there and do your social gatherings. No, the building is part of our mission. We have Boy Scout troops, we have concerts, we have a nursery school. How are we serving the community by this edifice, this structure that we have?
Sure.
Everything's about mission.
And now the church is planning the Congregational Church is planning a major renovation at the church just to be a greater resource for the community.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. So I guess it's growth within to provide growth without, or to help growth within to help deal with the changing world. How do we adapt but still remain the same nonetheless.
That's right.
It's a delicate balance, and I've watched you do it for 20 years, and it's amazing. And I analyze it as a business person, and I know and I hate to use that, but I know there's similarities too.
Right.
I hate to use the term business with church, but like you said, there are salaries to pay, there are bills to pay, there's land to maintain, there's a parking lot, and all of that takes work.
Yeah.
And there's a school there as well. There's a nursery school, and things, walkways have to be plowed.
Right.
The parking lot has to be plowed. So when you get that 14-inch snow and the kids are off from school, hey, I know that affects the budget. And that's one of those line item budgets. I always joke. You never know with the snowfall. It could be 5,000 one year. It could be 2,000. It could be 8,000. So
That's right.
well, that's so interesting to me that it's just that it's also so much of a business. But like you said something, it's changes you can't affect.
Right.
In business, you can always choose to sell different items, and you can kind of change with society. A church has to stay true to its mission and doesn't have that option. And you're saying,
Our mission is eternal, and it's tested the time. It's been tested by time. We share God's love.
Okay.
And that's what we're about. There's different ways of doing it. I mean, I now have a Zoom channel. I have a big screen in the church. We use the modern technology, and we do change with the times. But we still have that mission of sharing God's love.
sharing God's love, and that hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed.
And how you get that message out there has changed. Like any other business, you've adapted to succeed. And all right. Well, any bits of advice, anything you want to say, if you could encapsulate? Well, let's go with that. Encapsulate the church's mission in a what would be your 30-second pitch, your elevator pitch for the church, if I may?
Jesus says to love God and love your neighbors as yourself. We want to show that God's love can be given to all people, regardless of who they are, and can be served and shared in a way that makes a huge difference for our society. That's what we do.
And I'm going to say this. That's as good a 30-second pitch, elevator pitch, as I've ever heard. So thank you very much. This has been enlightening, and it was a conversation, quite frankly, I was so looking forward to have. And while I was doing and preparing for it, I found it was a little bit more difficult, but then I just kept to the same principles of business that apply to any business or any organization that stays true to a mission. And in business, a well-run organization also has a mission.
Yeah.
And they have a mission that they have to stay true to. And it's any good company has a mission statement. I know at Entrepreneurs Across America, we have a mission statement.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps us, focused.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the similarities, also the differences, but the similarities. So, well, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Okay.
Nice to see you all.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.